It often starts quietly, with a little pressure or the annoying urge to go to the bathroom more frequently. At first, it's easy to ignore. After all, what's 1 or 2 extra trips to the restroom? But over time, these subtle signs can snowball into persistent discomfort, disturbed sleep, and a constant feeling that something just isn't right. The truth is, millions of men are facing this exact reality, often in silence, dealing with the discomfort of prostate pain and urinary flow issues without knowing there's a natural way to ease the symptoms. This discomfort, though common, isn't something to be brushed off. It can disrupt daily life, rob men of their confidence, and chip away at quality of life. But here's the good news. Today, we're diving into the core of this issue to reveal one nutrient that can offer real, natural relief if used correctly. And before we get into the details, I want to make you a promise. If you stay with me until the end, I'll share a bonus tip, an extra step that, when added to your routine, can significantly boost your results. It's something most people overlook, yet it can make all the difference. Let's be clear, prostate pain and reduced flow aren't just minor inconveniences. They can be early indicators of deeper imbalances that, if left unchecked, may develop into more serious complications over time. Again, this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Our bodies are always communicating, and learning how to listen can be the key to preventing issues before they take root. One of the most surprising aspects of this topic is how little attention it receives in everyday conversations. We talk openly about muscle pain, digestion, or heart health, but when it comes to prostate health, silence often fills the room. That silence, unfortunately, leaves many men feeling isolated, unsure, and stuck relying on medications that may bring side effects without resolving the root cause. So, let's change that. Today, we're starting a conversation that matters. We're going to explore what's really happening inside the body when these symptoms arise, and more importantly, how the right nutrient, when consumed properly, can offer support in a way that feels natural, sustainable, and empowering. What many don't realize is that the prostate, a small gland with a big role, is extremely sensitive to changes in hormone balance, inflammation, and mineral levels. When even one of these factors shifts out of alignment, the effects can be felt quickly and painfully. Inflammation begins to build, pressure increases, and suddenly what used to be a smooth, unconscious process becomes uncomfortable and disruptive. The critical mistake most people make is focusing only on symptoms. They look for quick fixes that numb the discomfort rather than address what's causing it. But the real solution isn't found in temporary relief. It lies in restoring balance from within. Throughout this journey, we'll uncover key insights into how to support the prostate naturally. But it all begins with awareness. Understanding that even small, consistent changes in your daily habits, what you eat, how you move, and how you care for your body, can add up to powerful results. Now, I want to emphasize something important. Every tip I share with you has to be followed carefully. Not because this is complicated, but because when it comes to your health, the right amount, the right source, and the right method of use make all the difference. Using the wrong form of a nutrient, for example, or combining it with the wrong foods, can reduce its effectiveness, or worse, cause more harm than good. That's why I encourage you to stay tuned and listen closely. We're about to expose one of the most overlooked ingredients hiding in your everyday meals, one that could be quietly fueling inflammation and making your symptoms worse without you even realizing it. And what you do with that knowledge could be the turning point. The next tip I'll share is one of the most important in this entire conversation. If ignored, not only might your results be limited, but the consequences could also quietly undermine your efforts to regain your health. Let's keep going. Let's continue where we left off, uncovering what might be silently working against your efforts to support prostate health. You see, while we often focus on what to add to our diet, the real danger may lie in what's already there. And this next part is something that shocked even the most health-conscious people I've worked with. Picture this: a seemingly healthy breakfast. Whole grain toast, some granola with milk, maybe a glass of orange juice on the side. Sounds wholesome, right? The problem is, many of these foods contain an ingredient that, though common, can interfere with your body's ability to manage inflammation and hormone balance. And that's exactly the kind of internal disruption that places added stress on the prostate. I'm talking about processed vegetable oils, especially those high in omega-6 fatty acids like soybean oil, corn oil, and canola oil. These oils are cheap, heavily refined, and found in everything from salad dressings to baked goods to those healthy snack bars. And while omega-6 isn't inherently bad, the modern American diet contains far too much of it, throwing off the natural omega-3 to omega-6 ratio our bodies need for optimal function. Why does that matter for your prostate? Because a high intake of omega-6, especially from processed sources, contributes to chronic low-grade inflammation. And inflammation is one of the key drivers behind prostate enlargement, pain, and urinary symptoms. It acts like a slow-burning fire in the body, subtle but persistent, damaging tissues over time. The scary part? Most people have no idea it's happening. Now, I'm not suggesting you need to make radical dietary changes overnight, but being mindful of these oils and where they're hiding is a huge step forward. Simple swaps can make a profound difference. Choose olive oil or avocado oil for cooking. Read labels carefully, even on products marketed as healthy, and begin shifting your meals toward more whole, unprocessed ingredients whenever possible. And here's something even more eye-opening. Studies have shown that men with diets high in processed foods and refined oils often have higher levels of estrogen-like compounds in their bodies. Yes, estrogen, the hormone we typically associate with female biology, can accumulate in men through poor dietary choices. And excess estrogen is known to negatively affect prostate function, often worsening urinary flow and increasing sensitivity in the region. That's why it's not just about what you eat. It's also about what you avoid. The standard American diet is full of traps, hidden additives, chemical preservatives, and ingredients that were never meant to be consumed in such large quantities. And unfortunately, the prostate is one of the organs that suffers most under these conditions. So what can you do today to start turning this around? First, commit to awareness. Begin checking food labels for oils you now know to avoid. Prioritize whole foods, things your grandparents would recognize as food. Opt for snacks like raw nuts, fresh fruit, and plain yogurt instead of anything that comes in flashy packaging. Second, start incorporating more anti-inflammatory foods into your daily routine. Leafy greens, fatty fish like salmon, turmeric, green tea. These are more than trendy health foods. They're your defense against the hidden inflammation that's been sabotaging your well-being. Finally, stay hydrated. Proper hydration helps your body flush out toxins and supports better urinary function overall. It may seem simple, but many men who struggle with prostate issues are unknowingly compounding the problem with chronic, low-level dehydration. As we go deeper into this topic, you'll soon discover that the way your body absorbs key nutrients is just as important as the nutrients themselves. And the next insight we're going to explore is one of the most overlooked causes of poor absorption, and by extension, continued prostate discomfort. Missing this could mean staying stuck in a cycle of frustration and minimal progress. Let's uncover the truth behind nutrient absorption and what you absolutely need to avoid. After understanding how certain common foods and oils can quietly fuel inflammation and disrupt hormone balance, it's time to shift our focus toward a powerful, natural solution. One that plays a central role in how your prostate functions and how your body handles inflammation from the inside out. There's a nutrient that's absolutely vital to men's health. It's involved in regulating testosterone levels, supporting immune response, reducing inflammation, and yes, playing a critical role in prostate health. Yet despite its importance, it's shockingly underdiscussed and often overlooked by both the medical community and the general public. That nutrient is zinc. Zinc isn't just another mineral. It's essential for the function of over 300 enzymes in the human body, and when it comes to prostate health, its role is undeniable. The prostate actually contains more zinc than any other soft tissue in the male body. That's no coincidence. It's a direct indicator of how much this gland depends on it for stability and performance. Studies have shown that men with prostate discomfort, swelling, or urinary issues often have lower zinc levels in the prostate tissue. It's not just a correlation, low zinc appears to impair the body's ability to control inflammation and hormone activity at the glandular level. This can lead to increased cellular stress, disruption in testosterone metabolism, and higher sensitivity to environmental estrogens. But here's where it gets even more surprising. Most people assume they're getting enough zinc through their diet or supplements, but in many cases, they're not absorbing it efficiently. Zinc absorption can be easily blocked by other common dietary elements, such as phytates found in whole grains and legumes. That's right, foods we often consider healthy can actually make it harder for your body to access the zinc it needs. Another roadblock comes from calcium. Excessive calcium intake, often from dairy or oversupplementation, can compete with zinc for absorption in the gut. When too much calcium is present, zinc takes a back seat. Over time, this can lead to deficiencies, even if you're technically consuming enough. And that's where the challenge really lies. It's not just about getting enough zinc. It's about making sure your body can use it properly. That means being strategic, not only in the sources you choose, but in how and when you consume them. It also means being aware of the signs your body might be giving you that something is off. Fatigue, reduced libido, poor wound healing, and of course, increased prostate discomfort. Fortunately, there are highly absorbable forms of zinc that can be found in everyday foods. Pumpkin seeds, oysters, grass-fed beef, and chickpeas all contain zinc in varying amounts. But even more important than the food itself is the context in which it's eaten. For example, lightly roasting pumpkin seeds instead of eating them raw can reduce their phytate content, allowing more zinc to be absorbed. Similarly, soaking legumes before cooking can reduce their anti-nutrient load. On the supplement side, forms like zinc picolinate or zinc citrate are often more bioavailable than cheaper versions like zinc oxide. But again, taking them at the right time, away from heavy calcium meals and with a small amount of fat to assist absorption, can dramatically improve results. It's easy to see how the right nutrient, taken the wrong way, can become a missed opportunity. But the good news is, just a few informed adjustments can bring real progress. Supporting your prostate with zinc isn't about drastic changes, it's about smarter choices that align with how your body actually works. And while zinc plays a foundational role, there's still one more element we need to talk about, one that can make or break your progress. If you're absorbing zinc correctly, but combining it with the wrong foods or consuming it at the wrong time, your efforts might stall. Or worse, you might trigger other imbalances that make symptoms worse. The next tip is one of the most important you'll hear in this entire series. Missing it won't just reduce your chances of progress, it may quietly undo all the benefits you've built so far. Let's take it further. If you've made it this far, you now understand just how essential zinc is to prostate health, and how easily its benefits can be blocked without the right habits. But there's another layer to this story, and it might be the most overlooked piece in the entire conversation. What if the very foods and routines that seem healthy are actually blocking your body from absorbing the nutrient it desperately needs? The truth is, many men unknowingly create the perfect conditions for nutrient resistance. And without correcting this, even the most well-intentioned efforts may fall short. Let's break it down. Zinc absorption isn't only about what you eat, it's about what you eat it with. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is combining zinc-rich foods or supplements with high-fiber meals or dairy-heavy dishes. Why? Because calcium, as we discussed earlier, competes with zinc for absorption in the gut. But fiber adds another layer of complexity. While dietary fiber is important for digestion and cardiovascular health, consuming too much insoluble fiber, especially from refined grains or fiber-fortified snacks, can bind to zinc and flush it out of your system before it has a chance to be absorbed. It's like pouring water into a sieve. The nutrients pass through you without doing their job. This becomes especially relevant in a culture where whole grain cereals, fiber bars, and dairy-based smoothies are often promoted as the gold standard of health. These foods aren't inherently harmful, but timing and balance are everything. Taking your zinc supplement with a high-fiber breakfast or after a cheese-heavy dinner is a recipe for poor absorption. The same goes for caffeine and tannins, compounds found in coffee and tea. These can reduce the bioavailability of zinc when consumed too closely to supplementation. That means your morning coffee ritual, though comforting, might be quietly working against your prostate goals if it's paired with the wrong nutrients. So, what should you do instead? The ideal scenario is to take zinc on an empty stomach or between meals, paired with a small amount of healthy fat to aid absorption. Foods like a boiled egg, a few almonds, or even a teaspoon of olive oil can enhance your body's ability to utilize zinc effectively. But it doesn't stop there. You also want to create an internal environment that supports ongoing absorption. That means reducing gut inflammation, ensuring healthy stomach acid levels, and avoiding chronic use of antacids or acid blockers, which can interfere with mineral uptake. This might sound complicated, but small adjustments make a big difference. For example, if you normally have yogurt or milk with breakfast, consider shifting your zinc intake to later in the day, perhaps mid-afternoon, with a light snack that's low in calcium and fiber. If you're a tea or coffee drinker, allow at least an hour or two between your beverage and your zinc supplement. These little changes require minimal effort but deliver real impact. Let's also talk about synergy. Zinc doesn't work alone. It often functions in tandem with other nutrients, such as magnesium and vitamin B6, which help direct its activity within the body. Including a bit of magnesium-rich food, like spinach or pumpkin seeds, throughout your day can complement zinc's effects and support your overall prostate health. And don't forget, stress. High stress levels trigger the release of cortisol, a hormone that, when chronically elevated, can impair nutrient metabolism and even contribute to prostate swelling. So while we're fine-tuning diet and timing, we can't ignore lifestyle. A short walk in nature, 10 minutes of breath work, or simply reducing screen time before bed can have a surprisingly positive effect. When you put these pieces together, something shifts. You're no longer just reacting to discomfort. You're creating a proactive environment where healing and balance can happen naturally. You're working with your body, not against it. And now, we're approaching a point that might just change everything. The timing and ritual that unlocks the full potential of this approach. This isn't just about what you take, but when and how. Done right, it can become a nightly habit that rewires your system, soothes inflammation, and supports deep, restful function where it matters most. What you're about to learn next is one of the most important practices in this journey. If skipped or misunderstood, it could limit your results, and worse, create a false sense of progress while the root issue quietly continues. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. You've seen how nutrient absorption can be compromised by everyday habits, how even the right nutrients, when combined with the wrong foods or consumed at the wrong times, can miss their mark. But now we're stepping into a deeper layer of healing, one that taps into your body's natural rhythms and uses time itself as an ally. The truth is, timing isn't just a detail, it's a catalyst. And when it comes to prostate health, there's a specific window in your daily routine that holds the most potential for restoration and relief. It happens in the evening, when your body transitions from activity to recovery mode. This is where the concept of a nightly ritual becomes not just helpful, but transformative. It's more than just a supplement or a meal. It's an intentional practice that tells your body, it's time to heal. You see, during sleep, your body carries out deep repairs, regenerating cells, balancing hormones, and calming inflammation. And the prostate, like many other glands, responds positively when the body enters this rest and repair state with the right tools in place. One of the simplest yet most effective practices is to support this process with a strategic combination of nutrients and calming agents before bed. Zinc, as you know, plays a central role, but pairing it with magnesium creates a powerful synergy. Magnesium helps relax smooth muscle tissue, including the bladder and the muscles around the prostate, making nighttime urination less urgent and less frequent. But that's not all. When you add a soothing herbal tea to this routine, particularly one known to support urinary and hormonal balance, you amplify the benefits. Nettle root tea, for example, has been used traditionally for centuries to ease urinary discomfort and support prostate health. Its anti-inflammatory and mild diuretic properties help reduce residual urine and relieve the sensation of pressure. Imagine this: an hour before bed, you create a calm environment. You dim the lights, put away digital devices, and brew yourself a warm cup of nettle root tea. Alongside it, you take your zinc and magnesium in their bioavailable forms, zinc picolinate or citrate, and magnesium glycinate or malate. This moment becomes more than just supplementation. It becomes a signal to your body that it's time to shift gears. This nightly habit, practiced consistently, can help regulate your internal rhythms. Over time, it can reduce nocturia, the need to urinate frequently at night, and improve the quality of your sleep, which in turn supports healthier hormone cycles. That's the hidden key. The better you sleep, the better your body can regulate testosterone, reduce cortisol, and manage inflammation. And here's something many don't realize. It's not only about what's added in the evening, it's also about what's removed. Avoiding heavy meals late at night, cutting back on alcohol, and limiting screen time are just as important. These habits prevent digestive stress, hormonal disruption, and overstimulation, factors that directly interfere with how well your body responds to the nutrients you're taking in. So this isn't just about adding a ritual. It's about crafting a new rhythm, one that honors how your body heals and restores. And once you begin, your body will remember. It will start to anticipate the calm, the support, and the nourishment. Consistency is what rewires the system. That's why this nightly habit is so important. It's not about perfection, it's about repetition, about choosing, night after night, to care for your body in a way that aligns with its natural processes. When you give your body what it needs, when it needs it most, transformation doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. But even with all of this in place, there's still one final layer, the most critical of all. It's the actual preparation, the form, the method, the way the ingredients are brought together. It's here that everything either clicks or collapses. This next insight is the most important of all. If you skip it or get it wrong, every previous step could lose its power, and in some cases, even backfire. Let's make sure you're doing it right. This is where everything comes together. The knowledge, the habits, the timing, all leading up to the one step that either unlocks the full potential of this natural approach or quietly weakens its effects. It's the preparation. How you combine, handle, and consume these key nutrients makes the difference between a small improvement and a meaningful transformation. Let's start with the foundation. You've already learned how critical zinc is for prostate health, how timing matters, and how synergy with other nutrients like magnesium enhances its benefits. But here's something that most people completely miss. Not all food-based sources of zinc are created equal, and not all preparations preserve their potency. Take pumpkin seeds, for example. They're one of the best natural sources of zinc and a great alternative for those who prefer food-based solutions over supplements. But raw pumpkin seeds are coated in compounds called phytates, which bind to zinc and prevent your body from absorbing it. If you simply eat them raw or sprinkle them on salads, you may be getting little to no benefit. The solution? Lightly roasting the seeds or soaking them overnight before drying. This simple step reduces phytate content and makes the zinc far more bioavailable. Once prepared, a small daily portion, around 2 tablespoons, can become a powerful ally in your daily routine. Pair them with a small amount of healthy fat, like a teaspoon of olive oil, to further enhance absorption. If you prefer a supplement, quality matters. Look for forms like zinc picolinate or zinc citrate, which are easier for the body to absorb. Avoid zinc oxide. Despite being common, it's poorly absorbed and often paired with unnecessary additives. The same goes for magnesium. Opt for magnesium glycinate or malate over cheaper, laxative-prone forms like magnesium oxide. Now let's tie everything into a usable routine. Here's one simple yet powerful option. In the evening, prepare a warm herbal infusion using nettle root. Add a slice of fresh ginger for added anti-inflammatory support and a squeeze of lemon for a refreshing twist. While sipping, consume your zinc and magnesium, ideally with a small bite of food low in calcium, perhaps a piece of avocado or a boiled egg. This becomes your nightly reset. But we're not done. As promised, here's the bonus step, one that amplifies everything you've done so far. That step is ensuring optimal vitamin D levels. Vitamin D isn't just important for bone health. It's a hormonal regulator, a key player in immune balance and a major supporter of prostate health. In fact, low vitamin D levels have been associated with increased prostate inflammation and discomfort. When combined with zinc, it helps modulate testosterone levels more effectively and promotes anti-inflammatory activity in the gland itself. You can get vitamin D naturally through moderate sun exposure, especially in the early morning or late afternoon. If that's not possible due to climate or lifestyle, consider a high-quality supplement with D3, ideally combined with vitamin K2 to ensure proper calcium metabolism. But as with everything we've discussed, timing and dosage matter. Always consult a healthcare professional before starting new supplements. When you combine these elements, bioavailable zinc, magnesium, calming evening rituals, and supportive nutrients like vitamin D, you create an internal environment that not only eases discomfort but supports deep, lasting prostate health. And beyond the physical benefits, something else happens. You begin to rebuild trust with your body. You stop chasing quick fixes and start participating in your own well-being. You replace confusion with clarity and helplessness with action. This journey isn't just about the prostate. It's about reclaiming vitality, energy, and confidence. It's about understanding that your body wants to heal, and that with the right support, it can. If this message has helped you or sparked a new awareness, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about. Help someone else take that first step toward better health. Like, comment, subscribe. Be part of a movement that values natural solutions, real knowledge, and empowered living. Because when we invest in our health, we don't just change our lives, we inspire change in others too.